Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the live stream this morning. The market just opened. I just heard that bell go off. Thank you guys so much for joining today. Jamie, Raymond, Vicky, thank you guys so much for joining, of course. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic weekend. I know my weekend was pretty nice. I got out and played some golf and stuff. If you guys did anything fun, definitely let me know. But nonetheless, getting right into the market here, we do have some pretty big things going on, obviously, right now with Twitter and Elon Musk. Elon Musk, obviously, last week decided to scrap the Twitter deal on Friday, like right around market close. So we have to see how this is going to end up affecting the overall stock market here today. But so far, it's been negative. You know, the SPY has been slightly down. We've been seeing other stocks like Apple, Microsoft, and stocks like that slowly falling off this morning, kind of gapping down, actually. So not really the best moves there. I will say, though, some stocks like DWAC are exploding with that Twitter news. I mean, that is just straight up explosive price action, guys. So as we see Twitter stocks start to fall, keep your eyes on the other social media stocks, whether it's DWAC or maybe Pinterest or stocks like that even. Obviously, Pinterest hasn't been moving like DWAC, but I'm just saying keep your eyes on those ones just in case. But nonetheless, DWAC is the big one there. Rivian is another stock that looks really hot this morning. And yeah, someone actually asked in Discord, Justin L says, does anyone know who keeps pushing Rivian up so high? So yeah, Mike says he knows George Soros bought into Rivian. As we know, Ford owns some Rivian, as well as, who else owns Rivian? I think Amazon maybe. So few companies have some pretty big stakes in Rivian, actually, nonetheless. So pretty interesting there. Let's see. Of course, if you guys have any stocks you want me to cover, just let me know. Hey, good morning, Sal and Mike. Thanks for joining up. If you guys have any stocks you're watching this morning or any day trades you're looking at, anything like that, just let me know and we will go ahead and throw it up here on the chart. But, you know, getting into some of these stocks that are moving on my watch list here today, like Rivian's one of the only ones up in the green. We have AMC moving up a little bit as well. I noticed Beyond Meat is starting to turn up, which is good. Tesla's in the green. Yeah, Tesla's green, actually, just a little bit, but I'll take it. Hey, I mean, they were up a lot on Friday and after hours, kind of with that Twitter news. I know people were kind of thinking, well, Elon might not pay as much attention to Tesla now that he's going to be buying Twitter, but now that that might not happen, you know, the Tesla stock went up, I guess, as people found confidence again. I guess that's what you'd call it. Either way, it went up because of that Twitter news. And I remember it did. Their Tesla stock did actually fall a little bit whenever that Tesla news or that Twitter news first came out a while ago. Like whenever Elon first announced he was buying them, it made Tesla drop. Apparently, people thought Elon wouldn't pay attention to Tesla either. But yeah, I guess you know, he owns so many companies. I mean, I get it that he's not going to be able to pay attention to everything, but seems pretty good. Here we go. Corner says, yo, Tom, we did all right on day one. Hacked and chopped the second day. I won a flag prize and maybe another, which would get my entry fee back. Hey, there we go, Sean. That's great to see. The flag prize. And yeah, that's really good, though. Yeah, he said he hacked and chopped on the second day, though. Oh, man. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, either way though, Sean, hey, I mean, I hope you had some fun. You know, you got your entry fee back. I mean, hey, you know, you'll take it, right? I was actually in a round robin tournament, Sean, where you do 6 holes best ball, 6 holes alternate shot, and then 6 holes scramble. Yeah, we shot a 75, me and my buddy. I will say it wasn't the best day for us doing that. We kind of had some sprayers, but yeah, it sounds like you had some fun though, Sean, and I hope you had a good time. Were you playing with the kids and stuff, or were you just playing with your buddies? Let me know. But yeah, talking about golf, let's see ELY, see how Callaway's stock is doing. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually looking pretty okay over the past week. Let's see that daily. Yeah, I mean, down around support again, around 20 bucks with Callaway. Sean, I mean, ELY still had a good buying point, I think. The stock's kind of holding up pretty good right there. I kind of like this setup, actually. Could be pretty good with Top Golf and everything going on, too. I'm going to really eye this up for a dip buy, Sean. I know we talked about ELY quite a bit, but I'm definitely going to eye this one up for a nice dip buy, especially off support. It It looks pretty hot, actually, I will say. So, Sean, I'm surprised you haven't told me yet today that your SOXS is back up. It's up 6%, leading my watch list again today. Actually, second place to DWAC on the watch list, but either way, it's moving up. I noticed SWBI is actually starting to point back to the upside today, which is fairly nice, fairly nice. Yeah, SWBI bounced like right off of the $13 support. I mean, that's pretty close again. We'll have to see how that one ends up holding up today. I mean, if we could see SWBI start to hold its ground and maybe go back up, we could start to see some pretty nice price action, I think, out of some of these gun stocks. And I really believe that SWBI is one of those stocks that could end up going up over the next couple years, especially with all the gun legislation and stuff like that being talked about as of now. Sean says, I played 108 holes in 4 days. Had to take today off just to recover. Yeah, I feel you, Sean. I mean, wow, that's a lot of holes, Sean. I mean, wow, that's more than I could even like fathom almost. That's more than 36 holes a day. Sean, that is insane actually. I know some people can play a lot of golf, man, but if I played like 3 rounds in a day, I think I'd like drop dead or something, man. I don't even know what I'd do. SM fan, wow, thank you so much for the super chat again. There we go. Hi Tom, holding Apple and Tesla puts. Hold them or sell them? Oh, pretty tough one today. I would say hold them though. You know, we just had a pretty nice uptrend last week with Tesla. We had like 4 up days in a row. We're finally starting to move back off to the downside here. I would say hold them. I will say Tesla is a bit of an outlier. SM fan, keep in mind, Tesla is going to move a little bit because of this news with Twitter going on right now. It might make Tesla go up a little bit. You can see in After Hours Friday, it made Tesla rise. I hope that Tesla keeps falling off for you. I think that puts are the smart way to go. So I'm glad that you have those here today. As far as Apple puts, I like that setup a lot. You know, we're breaking through support. I think that's a pretty good setup here on Apple. So good call out with those Apple puts, SM. Again, thank you for that super chat again, of course. I can't forget that. But yeah, really nice setup here with Apple to the downside. Like I said, I like Tesla to the downside too. Just be a little bit wary. There is some news, you know, with the Twitter stuff that can affect Tesla too. But yeah, I like those to the downside, SM. I would say hold them. I don't know where your entry was, but if it was anywhere on Tesla, like up above like 755 today, I think you're in a great spot. Same thing with Apple. You know, if you were in anywhere like up above like 145 or something, I think you're okay. I think that there could be some more selling pressure, and I think Apple could come down and retest like 144 even, if not even like 143 or 142. Those are all pretty decent support levels there, SM. So be wary on the way down. Watch those supports. But yeah, thank you so much again, and yeah, thanks for all the support lately. You know, you've been really in here quite a bit, and yeah, I appreciate all the questions and everything like that. If you wouldn't mind telling me maybe where did you enter these, and did you enter them today, or are those the ones that you were talking about last week too? Let me go look at some of these other stocks like Microsoft. Yeah, even Microsoft selling down, SM fan. Seems like a lot of stocks are selling back off today, which is not good to see. I have lots of stocks actually on my watch list in the red here. Yeah, like a lot. Yeah, too many actually. It's not good to see that. Let's see. Let's see, good old Baba. Wow, Baba really is tanking. That is terrible. Wow, Raymond said China shares were down, but whoa, that is terrible to the downside today with Baba. That sell-off is from 125 down to 111. That's brutal. Let me look at the complete percentage here, guys. I mean, you're going to be blown away by this percentage, I think. Let's see. Baba over the past, like, 2 trading days down, like, 11%. Not the craziest, but still, I mean, that's insane. All right, so let's see. You got Apple around 147.75. Wow, I think you're in a great spot then. Yeah, SM, I think you're really, really good there. I really like that level for you. Yeah, I'm glad you're in up there at the top. That's a really really good level. I will say we didn't even hit 147.75, but maybe you meant like 147.55 probably. But that's really good though, SM. You're in right at the top on Apple. So yeah, I think you're in a great position. Same thing with Tesla. Again, like I said, I would play puts today, so I think you're doing very, very well there. Sean says Spy's not looking good. What do you got for support? Yeah, it's definitely not with all these big tech stocks falling off. That's for sure. We actually blasted below like 386 today, which was a pretty big drop off to the downside. So Sean, I'm seeing 384 as my next major level. You don't have to say 384 actually. I would say like 387.70 or 383.70, Sean. 383.70. I'm gonna mark that down on the chart here. Boom. Got the line. Yeah, tons of bounces right off 383.70 over the past few days. I would say if we could get there, Sean, that could be a good support for us intraday. Past that, there's a big support at 382 and then 380. I think that 382 and 380 will be bigger than the 383 level I gave you. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I appreciate the question, Sean. And are you looking for it to move down into some supports today? Because yeah, I think we could probably hit that 383.70 level pretty easily, especially with the way like Tesla and all these big tech stocks have been flying down. Although Tesla's starting to bounce off support, I will say. SM, I have some support with Tesla. It looks like it's 737.50. We are bouncing off of that. I did not place this line today. It's been there for a little while, so keep that in mind. It could end up having a bit of a bounce here. But yeah, let me know what stocks you guys are watching, of course. I know yeah, I know today's not the best day in the market, but if you're watching anything to the downside, let me know. I know a lot of these casino stocks like Wynn just got totally destroyed today. Same thing with LVS, Zoom. I mean, guys, it is just a brutal sell-off here. I mean, at market open, like talk about brutal. Yeah, I can't believe the market's even selling off this bad. Like, we're gonna end up breaking lows again and go even lower. That's what it's looking like. Zoom, I mean, just gave up. I mean, all of its gains from last week in one day. Tough. It's a tough one. Maybe we can turn around with that inflation data Wednesday, guys. I mean, that data is going to be huge. If you guys are into that, we're going to have some big numbers. Let me find them. Oh, that was from last week. Yeah, here's the inflation rate. The inflation rate and the core inflation rates are coming out on Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. That is going to be extremely, extremely important. As we know, the last one was 8.6%. They're forecasting 8.8% here. So they're forecasting a bit of a jump. If we could have a bit of a move back down, like if inflation falls from like 8.6%, if we, I would say if we end up somewhere around like 8.5%, 8.4%, I think the market could seriously explode to the upside. But if we end up higher than, if we end up at like 8.9% or 9%, then I think the market will kind of tank off. So we'll have to see which way this ends up going. I'm hoping that we can end up moving this to the upside, but it's going to be a tough one. I think it's just going to be a very tough go, as we know. The inflation rates are insane. Like, let's just look at the overall inflation rate on the chart. Yeah, you can see there was a bit of an uptrend, like a huge uptrend there, and then we're kind of starting to taper off now. It's still going up, but we're starting to slow down a little bit with them raising rates and trying to do things to counteract that type of movement in the market. Wow, some of these sell-offs are just like absolutely brutal today, guys. I mean, this is just not what you want to see with these sell-offs at all. Yeah, I mean, Zoom is really tanking down for us there, kind of making us sad. We have DraftKings falling under $13, running down to 12. What else is running down today? Let's see my watch list. NIO, another big one on the China stocks. Like we talked about earlier, Raymond, the China stocks are getting destroyed. Oh, that's tough. CHPT, charge point down. Fastly, FSLY, also falling off. XPEV, another China EV stock, just destroyed. Even GM, Ford, Tesla. Wow, I mean, yeah, this is brutal, guys. This that poor spy. Sean, we better come down and touch that 383.70 or 383.60 support here soon. I think we definitely can. Yeah, no problem, SM. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think today though you got some really good puts going on. I think you got in at a really good time up there at the top, and I'm not saying to hold all day long, SM, but I think holding for a bit of a downtrend's good. And I don't know how much you're up, but if you're up a lot and you have a lot of contracts, it's never bad to lock in profits on some and then let others run. I know that's something I like to do a lot, especially if you're up quite a bit on your position there. But yeah, these stocks are really breaking down. I can't believe that they're falling off as much as they are. The airlines and cruise lines are also getting destroyed, like Delta, Carnival, stocks like that, of course. I mean, RCL, all just turned right around. It seemed like some pretty good supports were probably starting to form, and yeah, they are now just continuing even lower and lower. Very brutal of a type of move here, especially on a intraday standpoint. On a daily standpoint, it's really not the worst move ever, but on an intraday standpoint, it is not what you want to see at all. Yep, it is just not what you want to see. Hmm. Really tough on those. Let's see Chewy. How's Chewy? CHWI. Yeah, Chewy's down 3%, but like, see how Chewy's only down 3%, and all these other stocks are down like 4%, 8%. Like, it's like, man, most of those growth stocks are down a lot. Chewy's actually just holding its ground a little bit, kind of like AMD. AMD is actually down a lot. It's kind of bouncing off that 1000 SMA and that 7615 support down there. It's actually not a bad level. If you guys are looking for a bit of a support, AMD is running right down to support there. If you're looking for a little bit of like a support bounce or something like that, that could be okay. Nvidia's down 4%. Also down to their 1000 SMA and support too, which is very, very interesting. Very tough when the market's doing this, guys. Let me know how you guys are doing today. Are you guys doing all right with puts? Are you guys holding up okay today? Are you getting upset because of the longer term plays? I know. Obviously, whenever stuff like this goes on, we have long term plays that, sometimes they just obviously in the shorter term there can be tons of fluctuations and stuff. So, especially over the past years, we know it's pretty funny. SM says, "LOL, not too many, just a couple of contracts." Okay, I feel you, SM, but hey, good trades either way. I mean, Apple and Tesla are still falling off. Apple's right down to the 144 support. Cornish says Roblox is getting blasted down to $38. Yeah, that is not the move you want to see there. Yeah, Sean, that is a terrible rundown. I mean, down 7.4%. That's brutal. Yeah, hate to see that. They're almost down to that 38 support again, which I would expect them to break below this time. SM says, will earnings or guidance be the culprit, do you think, Tom, during the earnings season? Earnings or guidance? That's a tough one. I have a feeling, SM, that it'll be more of guidance right now because, in my opinion, we just need to see continued guidance that is okay. Right now, there's a lot of factors in the economy that can hurt the economy in the longer term. And I think that the more clarity for the long term, the better for investors right now. So in the short term, as we know, anything can happen. There can be a crazy article can come out and the market could fall 5 to 10% in a couple days. Like it's happened before. Um, Granted, not all the time. It's very, very rare, but it does happen. And nonetheless, what I want to say is that, whenever we're getting into earnings, it's just the more clarity forward, the better. So in the short term, anything can happen. But I think if guidance goes well, I think that, companies and the Fed will kind of be like reassured, and they'll understand that, the jobs market might be okay. Now, during this earnings season, SM, if we talk about, if a lot of companies are talking about layoffs and stuff like that, kind of like what we started to hear towards the end of the last quarter, then I think that we might see the market drop down a little bit. And I think that they might end up talking a lot more about layoffs and different things like that going on, because as we know, companies have started to talk about layoffs. I think Tesla said they were going to cut 10% of their workforce. I don't know who else announced layoffs. I know lots of companies have, though. It's hard to put your fingers on exactly, one specific company, but tons of them have been announcing cutbacks, layoffs, and just last week, I think the GameStop CFO got booted, and GameStop even had layoffs. Yeah, they did. That's what made GameStop tumble back off here. So I think that SM, it's going to come down to like how they're responding to the economy right now. If their guidance is good and they're not laying a lot of people off, then I think they'll be okay. But if they announce like cutbacks over the next quarter or something, then yeah, then that's going to be rough. But yeah, in my opinion, I would say the guidance, to answer the question. Yeah, Sean said Roblox is getting smashed still. Let's go back to that one because it still is. Right down to that 38 support, actually just under now. Bouncing off of that 1000 SMA. Not looking bad. Manny put some coffee out there. Good morning, Manny. Thanks for joining up today. You looking at Starbucks or something? Starbucks is really getting destroyed here, down to $77. Oh, Starbucks got rejected right on resistance again. Man, not what you want to see. That's not the type of move you want. Yeah, no problem, SM. I appreciate it. I appreciate the question, of course. And Manny, what stocks are you watching today? Let me know. I'll watch. I'll pull them up here on the chart and take a look at them. Maybe we can see some good technical movement. I will say this Starbucks chart to the downside looks pretty good. I will say it's starting to really tumble off after bouncing off that $80 resistance multiple times. That is just multiple bounces right there off of that resistance. Let's see the SPY. SPY's still going down. Yeah, still down. We're down. We're almost down to 383.70 now, Sean. Finally, almost down to that support we talked about. Manny's eyeing up Baba puts. Yeah. Good one, Manny. I mean, it's been dying today, that's for sure. I can't believe we just blasted through that 110 support. I thought maybe that would hold up today, at least today, but yeah, I guess not. Sean goes, okay, we are ready to rip now. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Let's hope the support holds up and we can start to come back up. I don't have a good feeling, though, Sean. I mean, so many stocks are red today. I cannot believe all of the stocks that are down right now. Yeah, this is insane to see this downtrend. I'm hoping that I can see the SPY bounce. Sean, I think you're correct about this, about the bounce right there. Looks like we might be having a bit of an intraday recovery. I would think we, at some point in the day, I feel like we would come up and retest 385, I would think. Yeah, he says just intraday. Yeah, definitely, Sean, for sure, for sure. I feel you there. I can kind of see that too, like a little intraday move back up to like 385, maybe even like 386 if we're lucky. That could be cool. But yeah, I feel you there. Manny says, "What's the next major support for the SPY?" So yeah, no problem, Manny. Just gave these to Sean a second ago. So here you go. I'm really eyeing up this 383.70 level here. You can see there's been a lot of bounces on this level over the past couple weeks. Kind of like right where my cursor is. Lots of different bounces right there, which I think is it's held up pretty good. So so far today, it's even holding up pretty well. We got within, I said 383.70. Let's see how close we are with that on the low of day today. Oh, wow, we actually touched it directly on there. So, okay. I'll take that. I got lucky with that one. But, yeah, 383.70 is still looking there. Still looking good there for a support, Manny. So 383.70. Then below that, I see 382. And then below 382, I got 380. I think those are all three fairly major supports here for the SPY. The SPY loves to have intraday moves and intraday bounces, and I feel like that we could see an intraday bounce on just about all of those levels if we continue to the downside. Sean says, I'm still scalping a lot. Nice, Sean. Glad to see you still doing that, especially in a market like this. I'm glad to see you scalping, and I think that that'll be pretty good with the SPY. Hopefully you can scalp this baby back to the upside here. Maybe catch like a good, 5 to 10% maybe. Not a bad little scalp play back up. I don't know exactly which expiration you're playing or anything, but, I'm sure you could catch a nice 5 to 10%. Possibly even more, honestly, if it's one of those weeklies. I like with the SPY, you can sometimes get those weeklies that can be kind of crazy. Like those expirations. I forgot the exact days now for SPY. Like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think are the expirations. Or did they add Tuesday and Thursday now? Huh. Either way, though. Let's see, what else we got moving today, guys? If you guys are seeing anything else you want me to cover, anything like that, just let me know and we can check it out here on the chart. I'm actually going to go look at TNX really quick. Wow, the 10-year index had a pretty good move down today after a bit of a pop back up towards the end of last week. Lately, when the TNX has been down, sometimes the market likes to pop up with that news, but today the market is falling off with the TNX, and last week it was kind of rising up with the TNX, so very interesting there in the shorter term. It hasn't been like that over the past year, but over the past 3 or 5 trading days, it's been kind of moving in sympathy, which is a little bit strange. Let's see how some of these growth stocks are doing again, like Zoom, ChargePoint. Twitter's down again, 6%. Yeah. Still, I mean, it looks like these stocks are about to like they're all trying to recover back up momentarily, like have that intraday bounce that I was talking about with Cornish. So if you guys are scalping right now, that could be a pretty good way to maybe play the market. If you see them move back up, maybe like a quick little scalp. I would say don't get stuck holding though, because the market's very bearish today. If you get stuck holding, we might be you could end up getting in a little bit of trouble there. I'm hoping that we have like just a downtrend at the beginning of the week like this, and then towards like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we start to like maybe start to go back up a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we went down again tomorrow and tested some supports on some stocks again, but yeah, today I feel like that we're just gonna maybe move back up slightly and then just stay red for most of the day. I will say, Sean, it's been nice to see Ketchup doing well here. Good old Kraft Heinz is moving back to the upside again. I'll take that. It's actually setting up fairly well. Not a bad move actually. I mean, hey, I'll take it. I mean, I out of every other stock lately, I'll take that. Hmm. This is actually not a bad daily setup. I like it a lot, guys, with Kraft Heinz. I know I've been talking about Kraft quite a bit, guys, and I will say through the I guess what would we call this? Like through this hot time of high inflation, Kraft has actually done very, very well, believe it or not. Kind of interesting to see it do actually as well as it did. Good job, Kraft. I can always count on you, Kraft. Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's really failing to break out above $35 here today, intraday. Watch that. Watch Twitter, guys. I feel like that could be a very interesting play either to the upside or the downside. Like if we break that low of this morning, I feel like we could end up having a very nice move off to the downside. But as of right now, obviously it's kind of a bad move. Sean says the dollar's blasted. Let's see. $ DXY. Yeah, that's tough, Sean. You're right. You are right about that. The dollar's still going. I mean, brutal. That is a brutal move with the dollar. Very good eye, Sean. I'll say that. The dollar is actually very, very important, and nobody ever talks about the dollar. And I think it should be talked about a little bit more. That's just my opinion, but you know, if you guys like the, like that type of stuff, let me know. Like, do you guys like talking about the dollar and like market sentiment and maybe like yields and like drawing conclusions to like yields in the dollar and stuff like that? If you guys like that stuff, let me know. We can get into that stuff a little bit more. I know sometimes that goes over some people's heads. Sometimes people love it. Just kind of depends, I guess, on the trader. But yeah, let me know how you feel about that. Yeah, the dollar going up is never a good sign, guys. I mean, it might be a good sign in the short term sometimes, but whenever you see a daily chart that looks like this, it's never usually the best news. Manny says, yes, dollar, please. No, dollar, go down. Or you mean talk more about it is what you mean. Sean goes, yeah, what's your take on the dollar going up? So, yeah, so in my opinion, Sean, my take on the dollar going up is a little bit strange. And I need to pull up some articles here because there is a lot of stuff going on with the dollar right now. Because a lot of people want the dollar to be down and a lot of people want the dollar to be up. People try to manipulate that, including presidents and people, like them. So here's what I want to show you, Sean. Right here. Trump wants a weaker dollar, but it could be a hard sell. And you go through these articles that talk about Trump wanting a weaker dollar. And as we know, while Trump was in office, the United States was doing pretty well with trade. And a lot of that came down to our currency as well. So a lot of other currencies like China, they're able to manipulate their currency and devalue it. People talk about this all the time where China devalues their currency and other countries do it too. And when they devalue their currency, like it says here, it gives them an unfair trade advantage. So as you try to make the dollar pretty much go down, it helps us in trade. Obviously, it makes it so that like whenever you import / export, those margins compared to like the foreign currency aren't quite as off, and you're not losing out on the global marketplace quite as much as you could say with like importing and exporting and all that stuff. So Trump wanted the dollar down. Okay, he tried to manipulate like the feds, like Powell and stuff like that. Right here, Trump's talking down on the dollar, an unusual step for a U.S. president. It has been effective, though. And as they say, to weaken the dollar, the Treasury could sell the greenback or just sell the dollar to buy foreign currencies and stuff like that using dollars that it holds on reserve. So they can do a lot of stuff like that to help / hurt the dollar. So pretty much when the U.S. is doing better on trade, we'll have a lower dollar. And that's going to give us better margins when importing and exporting into other countries and stuff like that, like I mentioned before. So right now with the dollar higher, obviously it's not as good. So our imports and export prices are going to be like a lot higher right now, I believe. It's giving us like an unfair advantage. Keep in mind, I don't know the exact, specifics into like why Trump wanted the dollar down, but I will say if we look at a chart, like here's Obama as president, okay? He came in 2009 or whatever it was, and you can see the dollar was falling off ever since the early 2000s. And then whenever he came in, the dollar started moving back up a little bit, which is fine. You know, it can move up a little bit. And then when Trump came into office, you can see he made the dollar go very stagnant. The dollar ended up going just pretty much sideways to down almost the whole time. Besides whenever COVID happened, then it kind of went parabolic, then it went back down. So you can kind of tell here Trump was wanting the dollar down, where like Biden and the Democrats want the dollar up. Now, I'm not really picking sides on this, but I will say the dollar down helps us on trade. The dollar going up is not good in my opinion. A higher dollar in my opinion is worse. A lot of people like to say, well, doesn't that mean our dollars are worth more? And in a way it kind of does, but like whenever you're paying more than for exports and stuff, it hurts inflation. It ends up causing worse inflation and everything like that. So I think that's this is another role kind of impacting inflation here. But yeah, we'll have to see how the dollar ends up going. I expect a pullback eventually. We'll eventually start to slow down and move down with the dollar. But the dollar is a very strange subject, guys. Like people, like I said, people they have a lot of conflicting opinions about it. Number one, and then number two, presidents are trying to manipulate it. Other countries are manipulating their dollars, and it's insane. Yeah, exactly. Like Sean says, it adds to the inflationary pressure. It's just another issue right now. Kind of like how the housing market was an issue. Kind of like how lumber prices were an issue. How gasoline prices are an issue. It's just another one of those things adding on, and it's happening because of everything going on with printing money and stuff like that. It's not good. Manny says only good if you live over in Europe spending dollars for exchange. Exactly. Then it's good. And that's the thing. A lot of you see a lot of the economists out there, and I'm not going to say that these guys are right or they're wrong, but a lot of these economists are out there and they're saying, well, Trump wants the dollar down because he's like a nationalist and, he wants to see the United States do as good as possible. And a lot of people say that, the Democrats are like more globalist rather than nationalist. And whenever you're globalist, you're going to want other countries to do well also. And if those other countries are doing well, then, you'll be happy or something. So, that could be another reason why this is going on. I know, a lot of these politicians owe these other countries things. And, if we make our dollar go up and give them an advantage on trade, who knows? Maybe they're sending campaign contributions. I have no idea what's going on. But, I mean, heck, the stuff I hear with Ukraine and Hunter and all the laptop stuff and all that, I couldn't even imagine if that was another president's kids who, did drugs and, weird dealings with Ukraine and stuff. If that was anybody else's kids, we'd be in trouble. But yeah, nonetheless, it's kind of weird to talk about the dollar. I'm not trying to get too political about it, but I hope you guys enjoyed that a little bit. I will say I prefer a low dollar. I like it down. I've been kind of predicting the dollar up though for a while. I found this technical on the dollar, this lower trend line, a long time ago. I saw it right off of that bottom bounce, and I've been really eyeing it up. It's been having perfect stair steps up. Like, we bounced perfectly off $90, then we moved up, bounced perfectly off 92, moved up, confirmed perfectly off 94, moved up again. It's just had perfect movement to the upside with the dollar. Almost too perfect, actually, I'd say. Almost too perfect, but yeah, it's been looking really hot to the upside, of course, and that's my opinions on the dollar. And in my opinion, guys, we want a lower dollar. In my opinion, a lower dollar will be better for the economy. As we can see now, the dollar is getting a little bit overextended, and the SPY has been kind of falling off this year. I'm not saying it's 100% anticipated, but yeah, it does hurt. Let's see what else we got here. SPY. Let's see what stocks are moving. Looks like SPY is starting to form a good support. Hey, I see US Steel or X is moving up. I know we were talking about inflation a little bit. X, as we know, follows steel. Or, not always follow steel directly, but, it's a company that deals with steel. And if steel goes up, X is usually doing pretty well. It looks like this might be a pretty decent little support buy down here. X is actually fallen off very low. I can't believe how much they fell from the high. I mean, over 50%. That's a big drop down, actually, to the downside. Wow. Yeah, I also noticed Smith & Wesson was doing okay today, Sean, kind of bouncing off support. If you guys are interested in some of these gun stocks at all. I know Sean was talking about Smith & Wesson quite a bit a couple weeks ago. Ruger's looking pretty good again. Let's see what else we got here today. Pfizer. Yeah, Pfizer actually looks pretty good, guys. I mean, as far as most stocks in the market go, this one's holding up very, very well. I know Carrier's holding up, CARR. That's really cool to see. Carrier. Wow, Delta Airlines is recovering back up, guys. I mean, we had a big drop down in market open, but it looks like it's trying to come back. So are we seeing an intraday recovery, and are we going to actually move green now after all this red? I doubt the overall market's going to get that way, but wow, I mean, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now out of some of the stocks. Yeah, I mean, Apple's not looking the best. Let's see, how's gold? GLD? Good old gold. I haven't looked at them in forever. Or actually, I looked at it in last night's video, but yeah, GLD's bouncing off that support around 162. I feel like these metals might be a pretty good dip buy here eventually. I mean, like, if inflation's still up, gold should still be moving, in my opinion. It should start to go up a little bit more as, investors start to hedge themselves and stuff. Kind of crazy to see how gold really sold off that much. I guess a lot of that came from maybe like, Russia selling off gold reserves, or I don't know, like what caused that big drop on gold over the past year. If you guys have any insight on this, let me know. I will say, I know a lot of it has to do with the dollar. I know the dollar plays a role in gold as well. Like when the dollar's up, I know gold is generally down, I believe, historically. Might not be 100% on, but whenever I used to trade futures quite a bit, guys, and you could trade gold futures, dollar futures, euro futures. I mean, you could trade all that stuff, and I would trade dollar futures quite a bit, along with the euro futures and all those. And the dollar played a pretty big role in a lot of that stuff, especially the gold market. So kind of interesting to see how how they've been opposites there. Except for in February and March, that was the time of the Russia explosion. Hey, good morning, George. Thanks for joining up today. Glad to see you in here today, guys. Thanks for joining up, George. George, you watching anything today? I know you're always talking in Discord about some stocks and stuff like that. Definitely let me know what you're watching today. I'll be right back, though, guys. I'll be back in just 1 second. Sean says, I'm calling it now. SPY ends green today. Wow, I really hope so, Sean. I don't have as optimistic of a feeling as you do, but here, I'm going to leave the SPY up really quick, guys. Be right back. Just give me like 60 seconds. Alrighty, guys. Sorry, I am back here, but yeah, Sean says we're calling the day green today. Sean, I feel like there should be some type of punishment, you know, if like the spy is in green. You know, I feel like everybody should get to like take a swipe in Discord or something, you know, like if it if it ends up red, there's got to be some type of you know, some type of punishment for that. George says, had a work call, so I'm just now looking at stuff. Seems like a bad day. He says, go RKT. RKT? I'm not as... Wow, yeah, they're actually looking all right today compared to most stocks. Whoa. What's up with that daily chart there, George? That's insane. They had like a bit of a gap up. This actually looks pretty, fairly explosive compared to most stocks today. Yeah, I'll take that. That is very nice. George, yeah. Really nice. Great movement there. Yeah, awesome. Hmm. Let's see. RKT. Sal says MULN has been moving good today. Mullen or MULN? I forgot. I don't know how. Mullen Automotive. Is that what it is? Yeah, Mullen Automotive. You're right. It has moved very well today compared to most stuff, Sal. Thanks for pointing that one out. I appreciate you with that one. Yeah, that's cool. MULN. Yeah, pretty good day for them, actually, compared to most stocks. Most stocks are in the red. Sean, like I said earlier, your SOXS is on fire. SOXS. Yeah, it's up another 6% again. I know this thing goes insane. Last week it was down a little bit, but this week, man, SOXS is on fire. Ran from 62 at open up to 65 or 66 as those semiconductors tanked. Wow, I know it's GameStop's in the green, guys. Check out GME. That's actually not a bad move at all. Yeah, not a bad move at all. That's pretty insane. Wow. 132.50 up there at the top. Pfizer. McDonald's. McDonald's don't look too bad today. Let's go check out AMC. Yeah. Fastly seems like the stock that's going though. How's AMD? AMD's trying to recover intraday a little bit, guys. Maybe we could trade that up a little bit if we start to see these chip stocks start to come back up a little. Might not be the worst thing ever. George, what made you look at RKT today? That's a funny stock. I haven't looked at them in forever. I used to look at this one quite a bit a couple years ago because I thought that with rates going up they would do good, but they ended up not really doing the best. Sean says we are going to bounce off this 383.70 up for a day, then drop hard through it on the inflation report. Oh man, I hope not. I sure hope not, Sean. But yeah, I like your prediction there. I think that'll probably end up being what happens, but I sure hope not. Let's see, 383.70. Man, Sean, it looks like we're gonna be looks like we're coming down to test 383.70 right now. SPY really turned over here, guys. Watch for the SPY to break that low of day. Hang on one sec, guys. Gotta do something really quick. Wow. I really like that play down here. I feel like that could be a pretty good play. If we see us blast through this support, I feel like the SPY could start to have a pretty big intraday sell-off here. All right. Pretty good movement so far, though, out of that SPY. It's kind of bouncing right there. We'll have to see if it can break through or if it's going to bounce. I have a really good feeling we're going to break through this and have a big candle to the downside, guys. I mean, a big one. I don't want to make everybody go run and jump into puts or anything right now, but man, I really feel like that this if we see the break here, I think we're going to see a pretty big move, I hope. A lot of stocks are moving down, and yeah, it's brutal. Let's see, Meta. Yeah, Meta's down. Let's see, Apple, Microsoft. Apple, Microsoft, they're all starting to turn back over now. Same thing with Tesla's turning over. Yeah, we're starting to see lots of stocks turn over. We'll have to see. This support's either going to hold or we're going to have a bad drop. Sean said that support was going to hold earlier. We'll have to see what happens. Let's just get it over with now, I guess. I hope it happens. Oh, George says he's still holding the bag on RKT, so he's still got it on his watch list. Yeah. Nice. Wow, look, the SPY's kind of holding that right there. It's kind of holding. It's holding up a little bit. I bet we'll see a couple little green candles here and then some big red come in. I do not like this setup at all. I just feel like this is one of the worst intraday setups we could have. It's like 50-50. I like watching the SPY though here. It's kind of interesting. Just wait for that nice drop below. I'm like sitting here on the phone waiting for fire the play. Come on, SPY. There we go. It's holding up for Sean. There we go. There we go, Sean. It held your support. It held. We got a little bit of a pop back. Interesting, interesting. Yep, that's a pretty good hold there, Sean, I will say. That's been holding up very, very well right there. It looks like you got that support down there. If we end up going green today, Sean, I'm gonna give you a... I'm gonna send you a box of Pro V1Xs. No, I'm just joking. But, man, I'll give you a high five. That's pretty crazy. I hope the market comes back up today. If we end up green, I'll be so happy. I'm just not sure that's going to be the case today. Can't wait to see where we go by the end of the day. See CNBC. What's going on here with Elon and Twitter? Oh. Europe on high alert as Russia temporarily halts gas flows via major pipeline. Uh-oh. Well, Europe, you know what? You shouldn't have been messing around with them. You should have learned your damn lesson. You know, like, no offense to you, Europe, but, man, you guys shot yourselves in the foot. I heard Trump even was like, why would you guys do that with, you know, getting the oil and all that? Sean goes, I'm just talking crazy. Don't listen to me. Yeah, well, Sean, your crazy worked out. No, I'm just joking. That's funny. Man, I'm really waiting for a nice break of support. Like, once we see that break right there, I just think the SPY could be so bearish. So bearish once we break that. Especially with the way we confirmed off of 385. I feel like the SPY could, like, really fall off. And I hope it doesn't, like, you know, die or anything, but I feel like it could go down a little bit more for sure. It's probably just having a lot of fake outs before the big move down is probably what's going on. It's going to fake everybody out. Man, Sean, you make me laugh in here sometimes. That is hilarious. George made me laugh with RKT earlier, too. Like, George, I laugh at that, like, monkey thing where the guy is, like, I think, is that a monkey or, like, an animal? He's, like, putting his hands over his face. What is that? I guess that, yeah. It's like a monkey, I guess. Something like that. Come on, SPY. I want to see what this does. I want to see if it ends up falling through support or not. On the stream, of course. Let's see. Yeah, it's like right around 384. Come on. We got to end green like Sean said. All right, let's go check out some other stocks, guys. And we're probably going to wrap up the stream here in a couple minutes. Let's see what else we have going, though. We have X, U.S. Steel kind of moving here. SOXS, Semiconductor Bear ETF. Carrier CARR is not too bad today, actually. CARR, KR, holding its ground. As far as that, though, everything else I have is in the red. It might be coming back up intraday a little bit, like Twitter's coming up a little bit. Beyond, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's still around lows. Let's see, SPY. Yeah. It's tough, man. Lots of stocks are down today. Hopefully you guys are playing some nice plays to the downside. If not, you know, it might not be bad to switch to puts for a little bit. Of course, as we know, though, the market's going to start to pop back up eventually. I feel like that over the next couple days, we might continue to see a downtrend. And then towards maybe the end of the week, we'll start to pop back up a little bit. I think that's definitely possible, and I like that type of perspective there quite a bit. But yeah, I appreciate you all joining up. Seriously, I really appreciate the questions and everything like that. It really helps out, and I really like to you know, I really like to talk about stocks and just the market and everything like that. I'm really glad that you guys wanted to talk about the dollar today. You know, like, definitely come in tomorrow and let's talk about something else, whether it's like the 10-year treasury yield or something like that. You know, we could always talk about something out there like that. So yeah, I appreciate the economic talk today, guys. And yeah, as always, I appreciate everybody who joined up, and have a great rest of your day.